Alrighty.
Okay, there you go. You're officially live, guys. Hello, everybody.
All right. All right. All right. All right.
Okay, I'm your special host XP on Dan's channel, and with me is the amazing CEO of onG Social, Chris.
How's everybody doing? Hello, Internet.
Come to
How's
chat,
it going,
guys.
Nicola? Thanks
Thanks
for
for
having
having
me
me.
on, guys. Yeah, I appreciate it.
And what's gonna happen basically is this is gonna be a live Q&A for everybody. All the questions can be asked in the chat, just to make sure you don't ask more than two questions per person, please. And when you guys ask questions, the best question out of all the questions is gonna win 600 onG coins. And let's just see how you guys hear us. Is everything alright? Can I get some feedback real quick? There you go. You got everybody here. And you guys can basically start with the questions right away. And let's see who has our first question. Chris, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go for this. Okay, with
Let's do
Dan
it.
E, he's always first to the spotlight. Let's see what he says. Ooh, okay, it's a nice one. Facebook has such a stronghold on the market and is very intervened in the people's everyday life. What is the approach to bring them over to onG, and what is the goal of total users and by what date?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, what we did with the platform is basically created, APIs to other social media, including Facebook. And the reason why we wanted to make it easy for people to share their content and consume their content from that platform is simply so that, it makes it easier for people to connect and to get their audience to see them on our platform. So that's why we did that. We realized, like a large audience for everybody is on Facebook. So that's what we did to enable people to to start migrating their audience over. In terms of the total users by what date, we're going to see how it goes as we get through beta, because we want to make sure that all the features that we're delivering for through the platform right now, there's a lot of bugs to be squashed and things to do. So we just want to kind of control that flow of users that come through. So we'll kind of see. I think we have some numbers somewhere, but I'm not going to put anything out right now.
Yeah, it's too early in this ICO, which is still has days to go, and it's going stronger and stronger, especially with that new magazine release. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. That's the ICO Crowd magazine was really nice to be on the cover of that. So we want to be a game changer, and we want to bring something awesome to the market and allow people to to do social media different, censorship free, squash fake news, all kinds of stuff to get done out there for people.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly post a link for the magazine. There you go. So you guys can take a look in the chat right now, live. Now let's see what's question number 2. That was a good one from Danny. Good job. We got Roto asking. We usually don't like to talk about gravity in terms with crypto, but what is the secret sauce that will drive onG to the masses and to the moon?
Well, I mean, when you bring up gravity, that's like a huge thing, right? Because that's the reason why we came up with that, because fake news is such a huge issue right now. I mean, it's been a huge issue. And in terms of like what we bring to the table and what's going to take us to the moon, I think is just adding cryptocurrency rewards into the platform, monetizing every transaction so people are getting the value from social media. Allowing them a simple interface, so like a single jump off point to distribute their social media and to consume it, to provide a superior experience, the good UX, UI, user interface. So we're working on all those things in addition to adding that gravity algorithm in that will allow people to just basically come in and stop the fake news, or at least add the negative gravity for the things that the community consensus thinks is fake. And for news that they think is true, they can add positive gravity. And we don't want to be in the position as a platform to be telling people what's true news, what's false news. We want to empower the community to do it and then that still doesn't turn it off, we give it up to the individual user in order to turn off negative gravity. And so by doing it that way, and by empowering the community to take control of that and empowering them, we think that's really what's going to take us to the moon. Because, you know, there's nothing better than, you know, community consensus and empowering the community to do those types of things. And when you're neutral as a platform, people feel more open to use it, and they're going to feel better. And we just continue to provide them with the tools to do that. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially, the part I like the best about this is you're taking all these algorithms which are kept secret, you know, by Google and Facebook, and you're just giving it to the users, and there's literally just letting them, you know, control what they want to see more or less, and everything is so transparent. The privacy, you know, and the actual censorship is, you know, my biggest selling point, which sold me right when I heard about this.
Absolutely, yeah. We want to put it out there. Obviously, we didn't put everything into our white paper, but we put a lot, and people can see that, you know, at ongcoin.io if they haven't read the white paper, and they can check out what we've designed there.
And I have Chris asking about the app. When would the onG app be available, or is it already available?
Yeah, we do have an app right now in the Google Play Store that was approved. So if you have an Android device, you can download it. In terms of the Apple, it's just taking a little bit extra time. Actually, they didn't like that we had a reference to cryptocurrency on our front page of our site, and they said it wasn't approved for cryptocurrency, so they didn't approve our app. So we actually have to get through the ICO and then take any reference to cryptocurrency off the front page of the site, because we're promoting the onG coin on the front page. And for some reason, Apple didn't like that. They're getting a little to be sticklers about cryptocurrency right now. I don't know. They said they've approved only a couple of them, obviously Bitcoin being the big one, and Ethereum. And we told them that we're riding on Ethereum, but it didn't really matter. I think that they want to see us have more market penetration before we can advertise that. But we're not going to be advertising that on our front page. I mean, right now we're just going through the ICO. So once that's over with, we can just remove that. And I think we should have our iPhone app approved.
Awesome. Nice job. That's very important as well. I have Dan Z asking, how do you plan on dealing with and overcoming the inevitable ostracizing or boycotting you would receive from major players in the industry such as Facebook and Twitter? And is that something you want to talk about, Chris, or should we pass that question?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind talking about it. I don't think that there's going to be necessarily a boycotting. I think that, you know, if we come into the market and we become a major player out there, it's all about also, you know, doing things the right way. So, you know, we're also going to bring revenue to those platforms. It's not like we're just going to come in and take. We want to come into the ecosystem and play friendly. I mean, these are the big boys out there right now. And so if people really start adopting our platform, we're going to, you know, continue to, you know, try to play nicely with other platforms as well. And so we're doing that because we also have partnerships with those platforms in a sense. So we have APIs. And the reason why we built those APIs and we abide by those standards is so that people can use our utility features on our platform. And so naturally, that's going to bring traffic and activity, and it brings revenue into those other platforms. And so we just simply want to present another solution to the market. And so by presenting that other solution, the utility feature of the social dashboard, and then adding in the cryptocurrency rewards and adding the things into our own ecosystem that are unique, we can continue to build that, you know, unique platform while also still, you know, supporting the partners that we have in the market. So it's not like we consider, you know, those companies our enemies, or that there's this inevitable face-off. We're just saying we're bringing something else to the market, and we don't agree when, you know, artificial intelligence or whatever it may be, where people are getting shut down. So we want to create something different where, you know, obviously it's blockchain powered. and new technology that is going to empower people in the community that's on our platform. So we don't think it's going to be like an inevitable face-off or anything like that.
And competition, as bad as it may sound, I mean, competition is what brings the most into innovation, in this competitive, technical, technological world. So that's a good thing, more or less, and it just, makes us more motivated to work hard, right?
That's right. I mean, it's good for the people. It's good for you viewers, you guys who are looking at using and coming over and checking it out. And by empowering us to provide those tools and to bring something new to the market, we're inevitably, especially if the continued adoption takes place on our platform like it is now, that's going to make the big players take a step back and take a look at what's going on. And it could have the power to shift the ecosystem a bit. So maybe they won't be shutting down pages as much or censoring as much. Maybe they're going to back off on those things. And those are all good things. That's what competition brings to the marketplace. So we want to just empower people to have those options. And
Exactly.
hopefully, we'll be very successful at doing that.
And I see some new viewers are joining us so quickly. I'm going to repeat that this is a live Q&A where any question you can ask in the live chat right now. The best question will get 600 onG coins. And just make sure you don't post more than 2 questions per person, please. Now, we have Connor asking kind of a similar question, which we already answered most of it. But if you have anything to add to this, how do you plan to stay in tune or go well beyond with competitors and current open social media platforms to see what directions they are going to make sure that you are on top? So if you have anything else to add to this question, because you answered most of it already.
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out on that. Can you repeat that?
Basically, you already
Sorry.
answered most of this question, and about what you plan to do better in the competition. Do you have anything else to add to this, Chris?
In terms of what we just talked about, the competitive landscape.
Yes, and what you do to go well beyond the competition. Some of your main features, but are going well beyond.
Well, like I just said, I think that what we bring to the table is something unique. We've layered on a social dashboard on top of a social network. So as we grow and as we increase those features and that functionality, we do have some other things on our roadmap that we haven't shared yet with the community, and we'll keep those things private.
Oh, okay.
They're very exciting, so we are going to bring some very exciting things. We don't want to release everything yet. Obviously, we want to bring some new, fresh things, some surprises to the community. But what we're already doing by integrating in cryptocurrency rewards and by launching our cryptocurrency, and the things that we're doing now with the upcoming Gravity algorithm and the transition into the blockchain, those are all exciting things that are going to empower the community, and they're going to drive value to the users who are coming onto the platform. So we're really excited about that. And as we continue to evolve and have mass adoption, we'll be sharing some new things as we execute. We want to execute first on the several phases we've laid out in our roadmap, so that we make sure that we deliver for the community, and then from there we'll start adding things in as we ramp up. Excuse me.
That's a great answer. And I have a crypto gamer asking, can I put my theme song on my onG profile like on MySpace? Will there be an onG tipping system on people's statuses, kind of like to give them a tip for something nice?
Yeah, and we're considering all those features, right? I mean, those are all things we want to bring value to people, because one of our core values is choice and the value of choice. So we literally want to bring as many reasonable features in that we can. So if somebody wants to tip, to be able to tip another status or user, we want to be able to add those features in to increase the value for the community members.
Exactly. Now we have Mario asking that fake news. Hope of the. Let me just read this question correctly. Give me a second. Okay. So this is basically Mario that was referring to a study that was done. Not sure if you have seen, but there was a study done where it was said if someone believed that fake news already, even if you proved to them news was fake, half of those people will stick to those news. Have you heard of this study, Chris?
I've seen a few things out there, and you know that's inevitable that people will continue to believe because there's so much back and forth online, and so that's maybe what could happen with this community consensus is that maybe those people that still were skeptical about what all the other people were saying, now they could come into a system like this and they realize that, you know, there's community consensus going on and it's not the platform necessarily still turning it off. That's the beautiful thing about the gravity algorithm is that when people, you know, add negative gravity to something, and if you're another person coming into the ecosystem and looking at that piece of content that other people have added either negative or positive gravity to, you'll still be able to evaluate that, right? I mean, it's not like we're going to turn it off. We'll give you the ability to turn off pieces with negative gravity if you just want to, you know, filter out the news feed and you want to see, you know, if the community is saying, you know, 90% of the community is saying something's fake, and you're like, okay, I'm going to turn off that piece of negative gravity so that I don't have to try to evaluate that. That's your choice. But again, it's everybody's choice to evaluate and to do their own research. You know, we're not here to think for anybody. We're just here to empower the community to, you know, to squash fake news or to figure it out together more quickly without us being the top-down control that's saying that's fake news, we're going to just remove it. And when maybe it isn't. And there's a lot of things that are happening in the name of fake news where people have gotten shut down, where it turned out not to be fake news, and then they just lost all their monetization. So we want to prevent those types of things.
Yeah, you want to basically give all the choices to the people. You don't want to make choices for them. That's great. And I like this next question from Angus asking, Facebook is blocked in China because of the government doesn't want their people to know the truth. Will onG enter China to fight fake news, and how would you do not being blocked by China network?
I think just, you know, China's, you know, that their own entity. So, you know, to say or try to break into China, you know, with the social media is probably going to be difficult, but I think there's companies out there doing it, and there's companies doing it successfully where they're, you know, interacting and having relations with China. So we would just seek to, you know, to do as much as we can to establish that relationship and then to abide by their rules. So again, you know, any company entering China is going to have an established relationship with the government entity. So you know, we wouldn't be any different. We would seek to, you know, to get in there and to work different angles than what Facebook has unsuccessfully done to be able to establish a relationship. And, you know, we've got some ideas surrounding that. Well, we don't necessarily want to release those ideas at this time, but there is a strategy to it. So we'll see. We'll let you know as we get down, you know, closer to that. That's a little ways down the roadmap. I mean, first we want to, you know, deliver on the first phases, but as we have mass adoption and, you know, go around, we're already a global company, right? We have people from all over the world, including China, coming to our site. So we'll see how that all happens later on.
And man, you guys are prepared for everything. I like you thinking ahead, even about, you know, going to China. So nice to see you guys already preparing for that. I have a Connor asking a second question. Do you think with China's crackdowns on ICO, it will take onG longer to get going, or do you think we'll build enough awareness in other countries where it won't affect the coin?
Well, I mean, in terms of our coin, I don't think it's going to impact us much. I mean, obviously, we all saw the market take a dip because that's big news, and you know, China usually doesn't give us much notice when they make these major announcements, right? So everybody kind of freaks out, but inevitably it's not going to stop the blockchain and the technology that's happening and all the people that are empowered. It's not going to stop all the innovation and, you know, everything that's happening with the blockchain and with cryptocurrencies. So even with China, what they're doing with ICOs, even though they have, you know, a large percentage of the ICOs out there, but it's not going to necessarily impact us, I don't think, long term. I think we'll just continue to do what we're doing and provide the value that we're providing with the cryptocurrency that we've launched, the onG coin, and we'll just continue to distribute that as network rewards on the onG social for the next 20 years, and then continue to build value from there. So we're just going to execute on our plans.
Yeah, and the 20-year plan is already in place, so you guys are thinking ahead, which is very good. Now, I have Jerem 33BDX asking a question that was already answered, and he's like asking how will you get Facebook users on onG? And basically, do you want to cover anything else, or should we go to the next question?
Well, I mean, right now, a lot of users are liking the social dashboard, right? Because they can post some content, and then they can connect their Facebook or Facebook pages. Groups are coming, and then they can connect their other social media. So right from the timeline, just like you would on Facebook, where you post on the timeline, but from the onG timeline, when you post, you can select those socials to also post to. And then the audience actually comes back to your onG landing page where they can consume your content. And now you're earning rewards, or monetary rewards, basically, for every piece of content that you put out. And so a lot of people are getting, at least exposure to their posts by doing that, because they can get multiple social networks from one dashboard. In addition to it's bringing their audience or their friends or seeing it and then coming over and joining. So that's kind of the whole concept. So that's what's happening.
Yeah, just give users multiple options of income, which is awesome. And
Yeah.
there's a nice question by Philip asking, how will you prevent bots submitting rubbish content to the platform just to earn some coin?
I mean, we watch it closely. We've already had, an alpha and a couple of betas where we tested these things, and those were particularly difficult because, as a young company, we had that early on. So we've already put some things in place and some technology. And I can't really talk too much about some of that tech, but we are taking measures to make sure that people don't abuse the system. And we've also, we watched Steam, which we love, that platform, Steam It, as well. And we've learned from some things from them because they've experienced those same things. So we want to take all that data and everything that we've already learned and all the alpha and the betas that we've had, and just utilize our experience and technology to prevent the abuse.
And to go off of the same question, there's a question by Bo asking, how does onG differentiate from other encrypted social media platforms that pay in crypto, such as FutureNet? Have you heard that one?
Yeah, I have heard of FutureNet. Actually, I don't know too much about them, but we differ from them. I've heard that they're more of like a MLM, or like a multi-level marketing platform. So we're definitely not multi-level. What our concept is that you should earn rewards for any action that you're doing on social media. So anytime you're liking or sharing or upvoting, or if you're validating your credentials on our platform, if you don't want to go the anonymous route and you want to have a more validated credentials, you'll have an increased gravity score. And that's going to allow you to carry more weight when you're doing the truth verification. And then, when you're just sharing content to your connected social networks, we want people to be earning rewards for everything that they're doing, ideally. So I don't know if other social networks are doing that, but that's where we're going with this. We just lost audio, I think.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was just
there you go.
by mistake. Basically a fun question from Adele asking, are you planning on spreading the awareness of onG, also known as the Facebook killer, on Facebook itself, maybe destroying Facebook within? Maybe, I think he's referring to actual ads on Facebook.
We haven't been running really many ads on Facebook. Maybe we might consider it, but we consider a lot of our growth happening, it's going very organic. Like, people are just hearing about it from all over the place, and then they're just joining the network. So we like that. We don't necessarily like want to do anything or spam. We tell people not to spam or don't do anything like that. Just do what you normally do from the platform. Post quality content, and that quality content will get people to view your posts. And we have the same methodology as a company. We don't like to overly advertise or anything. We just create quality content, and then by doing that and providing value, people will come.
This is a more open-ended question from Pontus. What are the short and long-term goals for the platform?
Well, the short-term goals are to get through the ICO successfully, and that's providing us with the capital to accomplish those midterm goals. And the midterm goals, if you haven't seen those, are laid out in a roadmap. And so you can see that roadmap at ongcoin.io and just click on roadmap. But there's a couple of different phases that we lay out. The immediate term, we want immediately after the ICO, we'd like to integrate the cryptocurrency rewards into the platform. Because we already have a live platform, we're working right now to just make sure like the experience is good. We've been finding bugs and squashing bugs. We want to get the cryptocurrency rewards in, and then we want to increase the value of that social dashboard. A lot of people have requested Steam It, so we want to add the Steam It into the social dashboard so that people can actually post from here at onG and also at Steam at the same time, so that they can earn both the cryptocurrency rewards at once. And so that's high up on the list. And then we want to add Instagram. We haven't added that to the social dashboard yet, but we will. And then phase 2, we'll start decentralizing the app. So we'll actually move everything into the blockchain, and that'll be great for the community. And then long term, after that goes into kind of a phase 3, where we add on more value and more decentralized apps connected to our ecosystem, like storage.io, for example, and Golem, which is like a supercomputer. It's a world supercomputer that will actually enable people to, if you leave your computer on, you can rent your resources, like your CPU resources. It's all secure, but then you start earning that Golem token for the free resources that you're allowing that to use while you're sleeping. So our long-term goal is to add as much value into our platform as possible, so that anytime somebody connects into our ecosystem, they have a whole list of choices and a huge value for their time. So we're maximizing the value of your time and the efficiency that you have on social media overall.
Man, this is just a vault of information. Even I learned something today. And I thought I knew everything about onG. Well, wow. Can I sneak my own question in real quick here? Since we all know that the actual rewards are being implemented after the ICO and the tokens are released, is there any rewards that are active right now from like the ad revenue or?
Yeah, I mean, right now there's ad revenue that's available on the platform. So anytime you connect onto the platform, you'll see that there's a bank, and you'll be getting that. I think everybody that's joining right now is getting like a $10 credit. So that's nice. So if you join, during the ICO, you'll see in your bank that there's $10. But we're actually going to be adding on post ICO, and it's in the white paper. We're adding on we have 2 internal cryptocurrency rewards on the platform that we're integrating in. One of them is called G Fuel. And so everybody who's joining right now will be getting G Fuel added into their account. And that's basically for them to vote with and to transfer, boost posts and do other things on the platform post ICO. So once we have those integrations, the other one's called G Bucks, and it's basically just pegged to advertiser dollars. So anytime an advertiser spends money into the ecosystem in the future, instead of it just showing up as USD, it'll show up as what we call G Bucks, and those will all be interchangeable to cash out for different revenues, USD or whatever currency you're using, you'll be able to cash that out, or if you want to buy onG coin. So yeah, so that's those are the rewards that are there right now.
And I like how that you're taking your inspiration from actually Steam it and improving all the issues they have. So basically took all the best advantages of using Steam it and their reward system and just made it a lot better.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Steam it did so. They're a great platform, and they what they've done was pretty incredible. So, and the community really likes it. There's a powerful community there. So, we definitely wanted to learn from what they had done. Some of the differences. We changed. Obviously, we've been watching how it's all played out in the community. So we don't create like 100% of new onG coin a year like Steam does. And so what we did is we kind of changed that a little bit and just did a finite amount. So we only have like a certain amount of onG coin, and then we're just distributing that over the next 20 years. So versus like creating 100% of a new cryptocurrency each year. So there's a few different changes and some things that we're doing differently, but yeah, we did add on those elements of three cryptocurrencies with the onG coin and the G Fuel and the G Bucks. So that works really well, and people like that. So we wanted to do something similar.
Excellent. Now, Joey is asking if all goes well, and it's just a question of when it goes well. With the platform being adopted and widely used, is there any future plan to have the currency be used for transactions for goods and services between users?
Absolutely, yeah. That's definitely on the roadmap. And we actually are talking to some folks right now who want to take our onG coin and present this to their group of merchants. So that would be ideal as well, because if the merchants started taking the coin, obviously there would be faster and accelerated adoption of our currency.
And can you go into more details about the coin itself? And it's on the Ethereum platform and the Waves platform, right?
Sorry, you cut out a little bit on that.
I was actually interested myself. I was going to try my own question here. Would you mind describing how this dual blockchain platform works, and what type of a transaction speeds we should be expecting from this coin?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, when we set out to launch the coin, we actually were inspired by Mobile Go, and they had a very successful raise, and they've been around a while with their game credits. So they did a dual blockchain release on both Waves and Ethereum, and so we decided that we would do that. So we have the ERC20 token on the Ethereum network, and then we have our asset also on the Waves network. And so there's a finite amount, and so we have the full assets on both of the Ethereum and Waves platforms. And so there will never be more than the total amount of our coin released. So if somebody was to want to use the Waves, or somebody, say we maxed out the amount of coins that were distributed, which is 300 million over the 20 years. We have both of those sitting on both of the chains. So there's kind of a block swap, so it tracks it so that there's never any more than our max amount available on either one of the blockchains. And as far as the transaction speeds, that's supposed to, for these really active periods of time, it gives you the ability to have redundancy, because you have now two blockchains that transactions are happening on versus just like one bottleneck. So we haven't had any problems as of yet. So it's everything's gone pretty smoothly.
Yeah, that's a very good way to make the platform a solid one, just to make sure, even if the Ethereum network slows down a bit, or if it's overloaded with all those ICOs happening, just have a nice redundancy right there. And Erasmus is asking, what are the legal issues behind this? So I think he's referring to going after all this social media and Facebook.
Um, so the legal issues surrounding what with social media and Facebook?
Let me see. Yeah, these social media giant Facebook. I'm not sure what legal issues you're talking about, but if you want to talk about your Delaware corporation, I mean, you got all the paperwork. And this is a legal, corporation in the United States.
Yeah, right. I mean, as far as legal goes, we have a really good legal team. So when we launched the company, we had a law firm by the name of Davis Wright Tremaine that actually launched the Delaware Corporation, and so they're probably one of the top top law firms in the states. They're probably 500 person law firm or something, but they've really did a good job at establishing our foundation, and that was really important for us to do. And we wanted to do a Delaware corporation because there's certain laws with Delaware. And if you actually look at some of the most successful corporations in the world, they're all mostly Delaware corporations. So we kind of followed suit with that. So like Facebook is, Google is, Yahoo, you name a corporation, a major corporation, they're all Delaware corporations, and that's for a reason.
oh,
So
really? Okay.
yeah. Delaware corporations are usually very, very successful companies, and there's specific laws in Delaware, and that's why companies like that, especially internet companies, incorporate there. So we've tried to be very cautious and careful, and especially around the ICO. So we actually hired a specialist for the ICO who developed all of our legal circular and all of our paperwork, analyzed what we're doing in regards to like the Howey test, which is a test that tests your token. Because we have underlying utility functions with our token, right? It runs on the platform. It has a utility function versus like some of these ICOs that they're just launching, some token that is really functioning like a security, and that's not what ours is. So in terms of the legal issues, we feel really good, and we feel like we're really in a good place, with what we've done.
And Skrilla is asking on a dark note, another dark question. Have you considered the possibility of terrorist groups such as ISIS using the platform to spread extremist content and generate revenue? And how would you deal with that backlash?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good question. There's going to be groups that are going to gravitate to platforms that earn revenue. We haven't had any of that from what I know of. But we do. There are a lot of anonymous users as well, just using the platform. But there hasn't been any type of like content that we've seen on our platform that's been like terrorist related. And I think those are sensitive issues, right? Like we don't want to have that on a platform where the general people are just using it for their content delivery. So I think that we do have plans in place. We have like a response kind of outline for something like that. I don't really want to get into everything right now, but I think it's a good question, and it's something that we have to be thoughtful of as we grow. Right now, we don't have anything happening on our network in terms of that, but down the line, if we did, we would take steps to at least protect the community or protect the platform. And in certain cases, it's like clear cut where you would have to like cut out some content, or at least make sure that people who didn't want to receive that content for the rest of the community would be able to turn that off, right? So they wouldn't want to consume that. So, and in terms of those groups earning revenue from our platform, we would want to be cautious about anything like that, because we don't want to be a catalyst for anything negative. We want to be a catalyst for positive things and bringing good things into the world. So
yeah, it's a very touchy subject. Who is designing the onG UI interface? What are the considerations you had to take to set your interface apart from other social media platforms when designing onG? This is a question by Matt B.
Okay, yeah. We had several several people that were like front end people that worked on the design. We wanted to do something a little bit different in terms of the colors and things, and we kind of got a group through our alpha that people gave us feedback on that system. And you have people that different groups that say different things, and everybody has kind of different tastes. So we do get different feedback on that from time to time. But it was a group of our front end developers that did it, and we did make it a lot like Facebook in some terms, because we realized that that's the dominant platform. So in terms of like some of the navigation or some of the features that you have there, we did want to make it very easy for people in terms of the user experience, so that they didn't have to try to figure out a completely new system. There's a lot of differences there, of course, and a lot of things that we're doing differently. But there's also some core features that enable people like to toggle to their groups or toggle to a different page and become that page. We wanted to do something simple like that. So we appreciate any feedback. We're constantly changing, just like any platform. So we do plan on making some changes after the ICO, a number of changes, and some of those do include the UI and the UX, of course.
Well, you guys, you have to consider this is still an ICO, and to have a working platform that's ahead of 99% of the ICOs already, right? And this is a beta, which is has a lot of room to improve, and basically why not just take the best features from Facebook and all these successful companies, just improve everything else, and that's what's going to happen more or less, right?
That's the idea. We want to adopt all the the great features that that the users really like and care about, and continue to add those into our ecosystem to maximize the benefits. So yeah, of course.
And I like this question coming from Roto. He's asking, can you tell us about your team and the level of collective vision and energy you all share for this project?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we have a great team. I mean, myself and we have Adrian Rosenbusch, who's the Chief Visionary Officer, and it'd be nice to have him on one of these, because he paints a grand vision, and I mean he is a visionary person, and great energy, and the guy's just got great ideas to put into the platform. And all of us care about people, right? Like we all have this passion about empowering people and allowing creating this technology that's going to continue to allow people to remain free on the internet, to have their voices heard, and to have that monetization sustained. Because a lot of what's driving us is that we do see that whether it's out of control AI or different things that are happening on the internet where there's censorship or these sensitive issues happening, people are losing their livelihoods. Some channels that rely on all of this revenue coming in and losing that monetization overnight just because maybe somebody flagged their channel falsely, or there was out of control AI. There's all kinds of things happening. So collectively as a team, we're very passionate about that. And, and all of the team members add different elements. Obviously, Chris Bates brings in the technical side and a deeply analytical, uber geek side. And Alex Lassarev is just like a super, marketer, internet, guru. So everybody kind of brings their different talents into the team, which is, that's what it's all about, bringing in the team. And we love the energy that we all have. So, and we have some announcements coming for a new team member, possibly that I think will be very exciting. So.
Well, actually, I think I heard about this, and man, I'm very excited. If that goes through, it's going to be amazing. Now, I want to shout out to Sasha, Alex Lazarev, a very, very good marketer and cool guy.
Yeah, love Sasha.
And as of right now, what needs to happen or get done in order for onG to be a successful story? This is a question by Pontus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's most important that we deliver for the community. So, when we get through the ICO, then we immediately go into the phases that we've laid out in the roadmap. And as we deliver on those promises that we've made to the community, then it just builds more trust in the community. And now we've delivered more features and more value to the community. So I think as we do that and we continue to deliver, then the community is just going to be happier and more energized, and that's going to make us all successful together. And one of our mottos is, achieve more together. So that's what we're all about.
And I'm going to skip about two questions real quick and get back to them later. I want to address a question that I actually heard myself a couple of times. Angus is asking, the current sales ICO does not very well, only almost like $1 million so far. And the target is around 70 millions. Will you extend the ICO, or will this affect the value of onG coin? Can you just explain this to people, please?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we didn't do a lot of marketing for this, so we've done like almost zero marketing, so it's been all organic. So that's why probably we didn't like blow it out. We have a certain amount of tokens that we did release. And I think in the wording on our escrow site should have been changed a bit, because it says target, but actually it's a 70 million token cap. And so that is our cap. But because we are already a live platform, we've already been doing this for a number of years, and we've already had investors and have a 25 pre-ICO 25 million valuation as a Delaware corporation. Like our last investors converted all their Delaware stock at a buck a share. So it's a little bit different from other ICOs where like they have to have a certain amount to deliver. We're very happy with what we've raised so far, and we do have a cap on the amount because we have a certain amount of tokens that we've released for this ICO. But we are going to be able to take those funds and really accelerate what we're doing and deliver for the community. And this has been a great way, quite frankly, to also getting the community energized and allowing them in advance to get a hold of the tokens that are going to be part of the platform and be part of the ecosystem. So, and then everybody who's coming into this is also joining the platform. So it's really about energizing the community. So yeah, we have a cap there. We do have a week left on the ICO. So I would just say, go get your tokens if you haven't already gotten them. But because it's ending soon, and then we'll go into our development mode, and then we'll start releasing the remaining tokens over that 20-year oracle through the social network itself.
Exactly. And this is a very specific question from Ridge. In your mind, what do you think is your number one advantage over Facebook? I have a couple of ideas, but what is in your mind?
Well, I mean, I think that the gravity algorithm is a game changer. I mean, I think that if we can actually deliver that to the community very quick, that's going to be a massive value. Obviously, the monetization, allowing like the average user to come in, and that's a game changer for people, because so many people are joining these platforms en masse, and they're driving huge billions of dollars of valuation. I think last year Facebook made over 9 billion, and that goes to their bottom line, and that value is being driven by the community. So everybody who's using these platforms together, they don't realize how much they're achieving for these platforms. So by offering that and passing that through, the majority of that through to the end users, that's a real game changer. So I think those are two of the big ones that we're after.
That's actually a very hard question. It seems simple, but like there's so many good features. Like I wouldn't know what to pick, honestly. I don't know. I think I'm a big fan of privacy, and especially the censorship. So that's something that you really I don't like about Facebook. And
yeah.
Mina, you was asking. Your website says that ERC20 standards are a precedent for creating a token with a tested rule set, which allows onG to analyze and modify an algorithm that distributes this token I'm not sure this was a question. Uh, oh, okay. So this question got split into two parts. My mistake. So it distributes the token while not compromise the security layer of the token itself. Over the past few months, we have seen multiple ERC20 tokens being issued Ethereum blockchain. I'm just not sure where you're going with this. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna have to skip over this question. It's not being very clear. It's a very long question. I'm sorry, man.
No worries. Yeah.
Yeah, but guys, try to keep your questions, short. It makes easier for Chris to get into the point across. Like even I had enough trouble with that one, honestly. Now, just remember, guys, no more than two questions per person, and the best question is gonna get 600 onG coins, which is in a few months I can see it being a lot of money, honestly.
That's
And
huge.
so Brian is asking, how is onG going to monetize? If the goal is to eventually take a market share of a social media platform, will onG look for advertising?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, because what we're doing here is we have several sources of revenue that are coming into the ecosystem, and we already have an advertising ecosystem there. But the difference with our advertising ecosystem is that we give the users the ability to control those ads on all of their pages. So when you like a specific advertiser, you can actually go to an ad and you can choose an advertiser that you might think is going to go better with your page. So, and we call it ad control. So we already have the advertising revenue, and the advertisers that are going to be, more advertisers will come into the ecosystem. And so that's an outside source of revenue that will come in. We're just simply converting that into an internal cryptocurrency called G-Bucks and pegging that to a dollar. So like one G-Buck will equal one advertising dollar. On the flip side, we also give the advertisers control to come in, and they have the ability to also work with the publishers that they want. And so this was a really important feature because I know everybody recently probably saw Google with YouTube, and they shut down like a bunch of channels and monetization. And a lot of the big advertisers were boycotting Google because their ads were showing along questionable content. It's interesting because we had this feature developed way before that happened, and we call it G Boost or Global Boost. So we allow both the publisher and the advertiser to kind of have some control. So if the advertiser comes in and they see that their content is alongside a publisher that they don't want their content, they can simply turn it off. But on the flip side, we also give the control to the general members that want ad revenue. So and that want ads, because you can actually turn off the ads if you don't like ads as well. But if you want the revenue for it, we give you some custom controls on that. So that's a big feature, and obviously there's other monetization happening in the ecosystem with the G Fuel and with creating quality content. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope I hit it right on there.
Yeah, and I actually want to refer to this so that not only is YouTube making it difficult for some people to monetize their content. I heard of instances where actually people had trouble turning off the monetization because they didn't want to show their audiences ads, but it was just kept defaulting back to the ads and making it hard to even disable ads for people who didn't want ads. So I mean, you just about giving the power back to the actual users and letting them actually have actual say in what they want to do.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a feature on there where, like, if you want to just automate that, so the system will automatically choose for you. But it can also be as manual as you want it. So, like, if you want to go in and manually configure things. So, and again, it goes back to our core value of choice. We want to give people a choice to be able to, do just about anything so that they can do it the way that they want. If somebody's too busy and they just want to automate it, the system will auto select. But if they want to take a little more control, then they can certainly do that.
Yep, exactly. And this is a similar question being asked by Drew, what is your number one advantage compared to Steemit.com? I'm guessing like your personal number one advantage.
Yeah, I mean, we love Steemit. I mean, Steemit's been a fantastic platform. Um, I think that there's a couple of differences where we differentiated from Steemit. The big one too is that we don't create 100% of our new currency every year. So we just created a finite amount of the onG coin, and then we'll distribute that over as network rewards over the next 20 years through our distribution oracle. So that's what we have planned to do. And so that, I think, could play out to be an advantage, because a lot of people think that's why the Steam dollar isn't, rapidly rising as fast as it normally would, because there's 100% of it being created every year. I don't know what's going to happen now that Larimer, is moving on, to EOS. So that's a big thing for them. I don't know if that's not necessarily our advantage, but just something that came to mind.
And I'm on
But I think,
sorry, my
yeah,
bad. I was gonna say that I'm very unsatisfied, honestly, with Steam. I mean, when I first heard about it, I was in love, but like when I realized, like, in a year, I mean, the UI hasn't changed. Like, what work has really been done on Steam, and people just want something better, and are honestly, like, not really happy with how things are going with Steam.
yeah, a lot of people are saying that they love the fact that we've already have these advanced features. So, where they can connect other social networks, they can automatically distribute those posts to their connected social networks, along with, a full blog. So like if they want to do a full blog post, we also have that section. And then they can also launch separate groups. So it has those kind of Facebook experience features. So there is a lot more depth of what we have now. So yeah, I agree that, for Steema to continue to excel, they would have to add more features for people. And, I know they haven't made too many changes, but they did experience a lot of growth early on too. But I think there's some advantages that we have, and we'll just continue to improve on those.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend actually earlier, just telling him like how onG is gonna kill two birds with one stone, because I can see this taking over Steam and Facebook easily.
Awesome.
That's for my
Thanks, man.
personal conversation, just my personal opinion, because I just love it what you guys are doing. And we got
Uh,
Roger asking which demographics will be the hardest to grab for onG, why, and which demographics do you feel will gravitate to your platform first? So this is more a multi-part question for you.
okay. And what's can you repeat what?
Yeah, of
What
course.
about the?
So
I didn't get.
he's basically interested in demographics, so which were the hardest
Oh,
and which are the easiest and are already gravitating.
well, our primary demographic is 18 to 36, and it's about split. It was split about male to female. I think it's probably heavier on the male side now with the release of the cryptocurrency. So the demographics did increase for the male population a little bit more, but I just think it's generally, those are general social media demographics. So those are the most, the millennials are the big group on, just all over social media, but especially millennials, they want more control. So I think that's probably an easier target for us. And then maybe once you get up past, 45 to, 65, probably be a little bit more, could potentially be more difficult, because I think that there's a lot of people that aren't as active in that demographic on social media. So probably be a little bit more difficult for us to reach that demographic.
Yeah. No, does ONG use hashtags? That's a question by Machiato. You might as well ask, do you use emojis? I mean, of course, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have hashtags. You can hashtag and yeah, hashtag away.
Yeah, use all the smileys and hashtags you want.
Yeah, right.
Oh, on the website it says you guys are backed by IBM. Can you elaborate on the partnership and their involvement in the project? That's a question by Mackenzie.
Absolutely, yeah, thank you. So yeah, we received the Global Entrepreneur Sponsorship from IBM early on. So it was just early on with the company. They gave us like an incubator. So they supported us for a year, and then at the end of that year, they actually extended for another year. So we had 2 years of support, and it was basically they gave us resources for like technical resources and people, a lot of their experts and things. So it was a really, I mean, we really are thankful to IBM for the support that they've shown us, and be a recipient of a global entrepreneur sponsorship like that was their level of involvement. That did end, so they're no longer carrying that forward, but that actually helped our company quite a bit to accelerate some things early on.
I mean, honestly, what else do we want to ask from an ICO? I mean, you guys accept PayPal. Like, what other ICO accepts PayPal? I mean, a legit Delaware corporation, and it was like originally backed by IBM. Like, what else is there to be like? You guys have everything.
Yeah, I mean, we got a week left, and we just encourage people to get in on this thing. We believe it's going to be very, very successful, and that we're going to have a huge opportunity ahead for everybody who joins us.
Okay, I'm not sure what question this is referring to, but Philip is asking, will the big data, which will be available on your platform, be made available to social scientists, like sociologists, or
We're not going to, I think the question is, are we going to like sell the big data? And the answer is no. We're going to decentralize this, and then we're going to allow people to take all of their data points and tag them. So you can tag all of your credentials or your data points, and then you control those in a system like storage. So that would be ideal. So that way, and that's the whole concept, right, of the privacy and moving into the blockchain, is that if you want to share your data and you want to share certain data points because you're going to monetize that for a specific purpose, then we can empower you to do that. But if you want to turn that off, that's important. And I mean, I have a story that recently I was looking for a laptop, and I walked into, I won't say the name of the store, but I walked into the store, and I had a coffee in one hand and I had my cell phone. And so when I was walking to the back where the laptops were, I got a text that I had to respond to right away. So I just stopped in the middle of the aisle, and I set my coffee down on top of this glass case, and inside the case was a drone. And so I wasn't looking at the drone, but I just set my coffee down. I replied to the text, and then I walked to the back of the store. I looked for laptops, and I left. I didn't even buy anything. And like for the next 2 weeks, whenever I got on Facebook, all they showed me were that store ad, and underneath it was the exact drone maker and that was on Facebook for like 2 weeks. And so that freaked me out. So what that tells me is that somehow they have my facial recognition, and they decided that they wanted to target me based on facial recognition inside of a store, and they've now had that integration. And I mean, that could have been a total coincidence, but I've seen that happen a couple times, and it just kind of freaks me out. And for us, it's very important, like as people, as this ecosystem continues to develop the way it is, and with artificial intelligence and everything else and all the other tools that they're going to be able to use to target people, it's incredibly important that our platform emerges and is successful so that we can deliver on what we say we're going to deliver on, which is giving people control. Like, I don't mind being able to turn that on. Like, if I want to go into a store and it's my choice that I turn it on, and now I can let them, do their thing, and they can send me all the deals in the world. that's fine. But if I want to walk into a store, I don't want them to, without my knowledge, to be facial recognition to me and then trying to deliver ads when I never okayed it. That's not okay. So you guys empower us, you guys support our project, and we're going to deliver you a product that's going to blow your mind. It's going to put you in control. And by making us successful and making us being able to deliver that for you, it will put pressure on other companies to follow suit, because that's what the people want. Honestly, they want their privacy, they want their control. They don't want to be walking around having facial recognition, violating their rights. If you want that, you should be able to turn it on and turn it off, and that's ultimately where we're headed. We want to deliver that for you.
That is scary. That sort of just gave me shivers, man. that is very scary. Wow.
Yeah, that's not where we're going. So no, we're not going to sell your data. We want to put you in control of your data, and we want to provide you a utility that you can use. So whenever you're using the utility, you can come on and use it and be successful using it. You can, do your thing on social media or whatever media, and have monetary rewards to everything for all the content and all the value that you're bringing into the community. And we want to empower all those things, but then ultimately put you in charge of everything so that you can decide what data points you want to share. And if you want to monetize, then you decide when and where.
Man. I don't know what else to say. This is like just. If I wasn't sold already, I would be sold now.
Cool.
And going back to Facebook, Brian's asking if Mark Zuckerberg appreciated onG, approached onG to buy the company, would you sell, and what would be a dollar amount?
What I would do is I would take it to the entire community and just ask the community of onG if they would want to do it. And I kind of bet you dime to dollar that the community would say no. So I wouldn't. I as a CEO wouldn't sell. And one of the little side notes is that I did study the whole story of Facebook, because I was very intrigued, like a lot of people. So actually, when I structured the Delaware Corporation, I structured it exactly like Zuckerberg structured his, and so that way, we would never lose control, because he controls Facebook and I control onG Social. So I want to deliver for the community, and that's like the number one thing. And beyond that, like, the money doesn't really mean too much. I mean, you can only make so much money, and I think it's more important to deliver on the vision of what this is for people, and then see where that goes. So yeah, we'll have offers. I'm sure we'll have offers down the line, but we wouldn't want to accept an offer. I think that it would be intriguing to have that happen, and we'll see what happens there. But we would just put it out to the community and see what the community would say about it.
That would be very fun, though. And
yeah,
you know what? In my lifetime, I would love to see onG grow and like offer to buy Facebook. That'd be pretty awesome.
Oh man.
This is more of a technical question. Razmik is asking, if you're not in direct competition with other social media companies, but rather connecting them, how would Facebook make money on ads if everyone is onG not looking on the ads? So, I'm not sure if you understand that. I didn't really understand it, honestly.